Community was where the vision for Gratitude Village actually started. Myself, as a single mom of a teenage daughter, at the time found that my current neighborhood didn't have the connection that I had experienced either as a young mom in a different neighborhood or as a child in, my neighborhood that I grew up in. And that was, neighbors getting together for potluck dinners or bunko or poker nights, or, bringing casseroles over when somebody had a death in the family or was hospitalized, and really caring for each other. And I've experienced that in two different communities I lived in, plus communities that I've visited around the world, in my grandparents' community when I was a child. So that is what led me to discover co-housing and start going down this path of creating a community that had that. But as I went further into it, I realized that the way the model was currently being developed, the co-housing model, made it a bit financially challenging for many people, and especially in a market like Denver or Los Angeles or other communities where housing prices are so high, affordability became a big factor. And when I researched co-housing communities, I noticed that nothing wrong with it, but the neighborhoods were not very diverse. They were very much like my suburban neighborhood in Denver, where it's pretty much Caucasian families, elderly adults because they could afford the housing and all of that. So affordability actually moved to one of our top values now, because it was really important to me to make the community I envisioned, the connection, all of that, available to more people, not just retiring boomers, but to young families, to adults with disabilities. Here in Denver, we are something like 60,000 housing units short of what we need to house adults with disabilities in the city. That's not, we're even further behind in housing in general of what we need and what's available. But for adults with disabilities, it's a huge number of units that we are short, and affordable units that, because as a disabled adult, a lot of times you don't get the highest paying jobs. So
True.
it
Yes.
becomes very challenging to then afford, a home in a city like Denver where the prices are so high. So affordability moved up to one of our top values and top priorities.